everybody. Welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with my bestie Mandy and again,
And
Mr. Goose.
yes, and I am here with Mr. Goose and Jessica.
Mr. Goose is about to eat you. So it's time for our 1 minute book rec. So this is where we go over all the books we read in the past week with 1 minute synopsises for each book. We have the added benefit of the cute little puppy today, though. And he's all about chewing right now.
Yeah, so this might be the extent of his video time today. Mr. Goose, you're supposed to look cute.
Nah, he's like, nope, sorry, I'm playing. Down the shirt. Got it. Okay.
That wasn't down my shirt.
Oh, it looked like it was going down your shirt.
No.
Okay.
Pervert.
So, I don't even know. What do you want to tell the fine people before we get started?
Well, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can see more of Mr. Goose and our wonderful book recs. Okay. Okay, Mr. Goose, it's been real. The people got what they wanted. Maybe he'll come back later. I don't know.
Maybe. She forgot because Mr. Goose was eating her. We're always doing book giveaways, so you want to make sure you hit that subscribe button for that too.
Yes.
Yeah, free books. Free books work. Okay, so let's talk about our reading week. How was yours?
My reading week was good. I read 6 books, but I have 7 to talk about because last week I did not get to all of mine because you said we were done, and I said okay, but I still had a book left. So I will make sure to pay attention to my books.
Yeah. Okay, I have 7 to talk about as well, so we're on par this week. So hopefully that means that I won't cut us off and then make you forget that you had another book.
Yes, so you can go first and I'll end.
Perfect. Okay. So the first book that I have is one that I did as a reread, but I want to talk about it because I haven't talked about it in a while, and it is my absolute favorite Omegaverse, and I think more people should just be reading it in general, and that is Trist in the Dark by Grace McGinty. It really is. So Grace cannot write dark. I feel like if anybody else had written this book would be dark, but it's not. So this is about Trist. She is our Omega. This is a dystopian society. And in this society, when an Omega is a certain age, they have what they call the lottery. And this is a televised lottery system where the men, if you are single and under a certain age, you are thrown into this lottery, and if your number comes up on the screen, then you have to bond with this Omega. You're part of her pack, and you bond with her within the first 24 hours, and that is by using bodily fluids, if you get my drift. And so that is where Trist comes in. So the government keeps drawing and drawing and drawing until they feel like your pack is full, whether these people have a significant other, whether they have, it doesn't matter whether they want to be there or not. And so that is what happens with Trist. She kind of ticks off the government, and she gets a bigger pack than what she thought she was going to get, but then she takes on the government. It is so great. It's still 5 stars. I love this one. I love it.
Okay.
Great.
Well, my first book is called Now and Forever by Aletha Romig.
I think that's how you say it. I think.
Okay. So this is about Catalina and Dario. So this is arranged marriage, and this is marrying the familia and the cartel together. And Catalina knows that she knows that arranged marriage is kind of going to be what is forced upon her. And she has heard just horrible, like brutal stories of Dario and the monster that he is. But you know how these things always work out. Our mafia men are the best when everyone else hates them. And they're like these horrific monsters. But then when they get their woman, they are so different with her. And that's exactly what happens in this story. But their relationship really starts to grow after they get married. So I got a little bit of like Cora Riley like type vibes, but not quite as dark. So if you're looking for a good, are you switching me over? Did you not hear my timer?
Sorry, my brain just short circuited.
It's okay. So if you're looking for a really good mafia book that maybe isn't quite as mafia, but still has a lot of the mafia elements, I really enjoyed this one. And maybe I'm desensitized and maybe other people find it more Mafia dark, but I didn't find it quite as dark.
Okay.
I rated it 4 stars. I enjoyed it.
Good, good. My lights are flickering. Did you see that?
Mm-mm.
It's a little stormy here. So, okay. So my next book that I have is really good. It's really good. So this is the first in a duet. I only read the first one. I will finish it out this week. But this is The Tithing by Natasha Knight and A. Zavarelli, who we'll see both of them in Phoenix in February, not November, in February. So that's exciting. But again, this is The Tithing. This is about Willow and Azrael. This is a part of the Natasha Knight and A. Zavarelli have this IVI. This it's not a cult. It is what do we call it, Mandy? Secret society. Sorry, I felt like you would know. Anyhow, the IVI world is the secret society world. And so that is where we find Azrael. He's a part of the secret society, but his family has this curse on them. And they also have this thing going on with this other family, the Wildbloods. And Willow is a part of that family. And so the night of the tithing is when he goes to her house, and she has all of these sisters. They're all redheads. They all look alike. And he has to look for the one that has the mark, because these girls are witches. There is one of them will have a mark, and that is the one that he is being forced to marry. He's also having flashbacks and memories to back when the very first Wildblood was technically sacrificed. She was murdered by his ancestor. And he knows that, so he's gonna marry this girl. That night they get married, because that's a part of it. All the Wildblood girls only live for like a year at the most between when they get married and when they die. And we know, reading this book, it's because they're sacrificed by their husbands. How do you make that situation work? Like, he knows he has to kill her at some point. So this one is paranormal. The other ones don't have, they haven't had a paranormal feel until now. I think this was the first paranormal one. So because she's a witch, so you do have some of those elements. So I gave it 4.5 stars. I was like, I'm here for it. We got to finish this out.
All right.
Okay.
Well, on that note, my next book is called All by My Elf by Olivia Dade. This is part of the Under the Mistletoe collection, which I've talked about before. If you are an Audible and a KU member, you can get the book for free on KU. Once you grab the book for free on KU, you can grab the Audible for free as well. So there you have it. So I listened to this. Andy Arndt narrates it. She's one of my favorite narrators. I really, really enjoy listening to her. So I rated that. I'm just going to start right off with my rating. I rated it a 4. It is getting beat up on Goodreads. So I don't know if it has a different feel when you listen to it and you're doing like household chores versus reading it, but I still really enjoyed it. This is about Nina and William. They're professors, and they have a side job, like side hustle, and they're in like basically like a repurposed hot dog mobile, and they get stuck in their, like, there's a blizzard, so they're stuck in the snow together, and you can just imagine what happens from there. But William might be dating Nina's really good friend, and I know that after I read it, I'm like, why did people hate this so much? So I went and looked, and they complained about, if it's her best friend, how does she not know who he's dating or who she's dating? But in my mind, I thought it was maybe just like they had started dating. And
Like a
so
new
she wasn't
relationship.
really sure where, like, if that was who it was or not. That's how I took it. It's a short novella, so I kind of just went with that thought. But other people like really beat that up. And I know that I just beat up something because the bride with her,
Last week, yeah.
yeah, the maid of honor
Yeah.
didn't know the bride's family or groom, but I feel like that's
So,
different once you're in like that committed of a relationship versus dating.
yes,
But I don't
especially if
know.
it's a newer dating situation, or
I feel like in novellas, sometimes you have to suspend some of that belief. But again, I listened to it, so maybe that's why it had a different feel. So anyway,
Yep. Okay. So
next.
I also read a novella next. This is When She's Merry by Ruby Dixon. So this the audio just came out this last week for this one, I believe, and so I listened to it. This is about Devin and Senath, or Sin. He likes to be called Sin. He's our Masaka male that's on Rizda. So this is a part of the Rizdaverse. This is the spinoff from Ice Planet, or one of the spinoffs from Ice Planet Barbarians. But it's Rizdaverse 9. And so she, our heroine here has, these women had been slaves at one point, and now they're living on this little farming community on this planet. And she has a friend who is having a really hard time just dealing with life in general. She's a little bit older. She's very depressed, and she's just really struggling now that she's freed and living on this planet. And so, Devin decides she wants to brighten her world. She wants to celebrate Christmas with her, even though we don't even know if it is Christmas time, but she's going to celebrate Christmas. And so she ropes Sin into helping. And this is pretty much their story. I love it because she has a pet, what they call rodent. It's like a rodent of some kind, and Sin keeps trying to kill it. He wants to kill it because it's a rodent, and you don't have a rodent as pet. And the rodent really, the pet made the book, I'm telling you. But it was a quick listen. It was fun. 4 stars.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, next I read Merriment and Mayhem by Alexandria Bellefleur. Hopefully I said that right. So this is number 4 in the Under the Mistletoe collection. We have Everly and Griffin. Everly, through a series of a lot of mishaps, keeps needing the fire department to come rescue her. And Griffin happens to be, I don't know if you would say he's your typical hot firefighter, because our firefighters typically hot. I don't know. He is your typical book hot firefighter.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, like, how these things work. Again, novella. I enjoyed it. I rated it 3 stars. It wasn't like woohoo, but it wasn't awful either, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen those hot firefighters out of Australia? Karen, find them so we know where they are when we come to visit.
You are a married woman.
Oh, dang it. Why did I bring that up?
Pretty sure it's even in the Bible. Thou shalt not covet hot firefighters.
I haven't seen that passage, but I'm going to trust you on that one. Fine.
I think it's strongly implied.
It's strongly implied. Never mind. Okay. So the next book I read is another one that it was also getting beat up on Goodreads. And we'll talk about that when I get done with it, because I kind of think it's just invalid. But okay, so I read My Rules by T.L. Swan. This is the second book in her Kingston Lane series. I didn't read the first one. You guys should know by now. I always dive in on the second book. I don't feel like you have to read the first one. They're standalones. But this is about Rebecca and Blake. I did not realize when I started reading this that it's friends to lovers, because that is not a trope that I go for, but I really did enjoy this book. So Rebecca is trying to get her husband to give her a divorce. She found out her husband's cheating on her. All these people live in the same cul-de-sac area. Blake was her husband's friend, but now he's her best friend, and he's also her neighbor. And so she's trying to get her husband to give her a divorce. He's not wanting to give her a divorce. He wants her to sign this document because she wants the house. So he's asking her to stay married to him for a certain amount of years, and he'll let her keep the house, but her payments for the house are insane. And so she decides to sign this document. He wants more time. He thinks he's going to get her back. It's not going to happen. But in the meantime, she's got to figure out how to pay for this house because she doesn't have enough with her regular job. So Blake comes over and helps her take pictures of her feet to sell the feet pics. And then that just kind of goes from there. They end up deciding to help each other date because Blake is the typical playboy and he doesn't date. He just sleeps around. And so they decide to go out on double dates, which then leads to feelings, obviously. So 2 things. This made it for me because, Blake's a doctor, first of all. Second of all, the feet pics, Mandy and I joke about that quite often. Like, it is a running joke between us about feet pics.
I didn't think it was a joke, but okay.
Yeah, okay. It's just a joke. But we talked about that. So I thought that really made the book for me. I thought that was hilarious. But people are beating it up on Goodreads because he's a playboy, and apparently T.L. Swan writes her men a lot of, I've only read 4 or 5 T.L. Swan books because apparently they're playboys. So what? It's fiction. It's not that deep. It is what it is. It didn't bother me at all.
I like a good playboy who then finds the one and is done with that.
And that is what this is. 100%. And I think it's very
But
unfair.
I also like it when he doesn't know yet, and he keeps like playboying it up
exactly,
after he
which is
meets
what's
the
going on
heroine.
here. This is what's going on here. Yeah, in real life,
Ooh.
if you had a crush on
All
a
right,
guy,
and that wraps up Bestie Book Reviews for today.
I'm just saying, in real life, if you had a crush on a guy, he's not going to stop dating and seeing other people just because you have a crush on him, especially if he doesn't have a crush on you. Doesn't make sense.
I need to go read this book now. It's going to throw my whole reading schedule off. I'm so
Look, I
behind
have a
this
very
month.
soft spot for Teal Swan because if it wasn't for Teal Swan, we wouldn't have BJ Alpha, okay?
Or Dr.
And I love
Stanton.
BJ. Or Dr. Stanton. Yeah. Okay, so what's your next book?
I have no idea.
You're just going to go read the Teal Swan book. This does set up the third book, and I am dying for the third book in this series. The third book might be out, but the audio isn't. So her books are thick. I wait for audio. Sorry.
So you're dying for the third book, but not the first book.
No, the first book I will read at some point, but I'm not dying for it. I'm dying for the third.
Okay.
Okay.
I just realized I didn't mark the stars in my journal for my next book.
Oh, did I say I gave it 4 stars? I gave it a solid 4 stars.
Okay.
Next.
Okay, my next book is Double Vision by L.M. Holleran. I was so excited about this book. And then as I read it, I got even more excited because I didn't really realize, I'll just be honest, it's L.M. Holleran. I bought it from her when we were in Vegas. I was excited to read it because it's her. And I knew like a little tiny bit about it because I put it on my TBR, but I didn't know really what I was reading. So
she told us about it in her interview a little bit. I wrote it down. So, okay, tell us about it.
Okay. So this is about Eden. Eden is living her life in LA and she is getting ready to move back to the Pacific Northwest to go to medical school. And she just graduated, I think, from like UCLA or something. And she gets talked into going to like this big house party. But like, I don't think we're thinking like college frat boy house party. We're thinking like fancy, like mansion-y type house party. And oh, I didn't start my timer. Good for me. Gives me a little extra time. 2-minute book recs today. Anyway, she's at this party and she's been drinking a little bit and she sees somebody who looks just like her. And she's like, holy crap. But the other girl seems very unfazed. And so she's like, how drunk am I? Like, what's happening? Well, she also ends up meeting this guy named Liam. And from here on, everything is just insane and crazy. So we have like mafia vibes or like heavy organized crime going on in here. We have dark romance. We have romantic suspense. I mean, we have everything happening in this book. It is phenomenal. I do not want to give anything away. So just go read it. If you like dark romance, you like any sort of romantic suspense or mafia, organized crime type stuff, go read this book. It is wild and it is incredible. Incredible. 5 stars.
Okay. Oh, did I hit something I shouldn't have?
Yes,
Go away.
You
Yeah,
are
I hit the
offering
comment.
live viewer comments, but we're not live streaming.
No. Can you hear the wind?
No.
Oh, thank God. Okay, it's really loud here. I don't want to interrupt our video.
Through your ears.
Ha ha. So funny. Okay.
Go read this.
Okay.
Everyone.
All right. So the next book I have is one of my arcs for the week. And that is The Crucible by B.B. Reed. This, I didn't realize it when I started reading it. It is a Goldilocks retelling. And yeah, it really is, except it's dark and crazy. So this is about Aurelia. She used to be like America's sweetheart. And over the last year, her reputation has just plummeted. She does not care. Her uncle is kind of like her handler. He's her manager. He makes her go places and do the shows and all the good stuff. And she's done. And she's got an attitude and she just does not care. And so her uncle puts her on a private jet with her bodyguards and a few of her staff and is like, you're going to go take a little vacation. You're going to go to this mountain or go to this cabin that I just, bought this land in northern Canada. Go. I'm staying behind to clean up your mess. And along the way, the plane crashes. It does not make it, which then leads her to this mountain where she's the only survivor. It's snowing. It's a blizzard. And she ends up in a cabin with 3 guys. It is why choose, who are absolutely feral. I mean, this is enemies to lovers, but it is like enemies to lovers. Oh, it was so good. It does it on a cliffhanger. It wasn't originally going to be a duet, but it is a duet now. So the next book will be out in the new year. At some point, I don't remember when she said it was coming out, but I gave it a solid 4. Like, I was like, where's the rest? Where's the rest?
All right. My next one is an ALC, and that is Between Now and Forever by Adriana Locke. It comes out, both the book and the audio come out. Oh my gosh, both the audio and the book come out on Tuesday. So be watching for that because this is a good one. So we have Gabriella and Jay. Jay is living his grumpy, closed off life in his house when he gets new neighbors into a house that probably needs some work done to it. And Gabrielle and her 2 boys move in. So she has a 16-year-old and a 7-year-old. And their dad has passed away, and the 16-year-old is just angry, and he's 16, and so it's just made things challenging, but Gabrielle is doing the best that she can to keep them on the right path. Jay wants nothing to do with them, and he has reasons that his walls are very high, which we slowly get Jay breaking down his walls as the book goes on. But it takes us a while to figure out exactly what is going on and what has caused him to be so closed off and grumpy towards this family. But Gabrielle is, who doesn't love the grumpy guy next door, right? So I mean, their meet cute kind of ends with her being on her porch and falling because the banister's broken in her towel into the bushes while she was spying on him. So, he gets to see some stuff, and then she can't really get out of the bushes that she's fallen into. And my personal favorite is how relatable the 16-year-old son was.
Oh,
Very upset about his ping rate. And he's just kind of moody, trying to, turn into a man, but still a kid in so many ways. I love their story. And the heroine is older, and so is Jay. Like, they're not like old, but you know what I mean. They're older, they're more mature. They just have this real connection, and they're both broken in many ways and finding their way to each other. Really, really enjoyed this one. Narration is done by Rachel Vivette and Oliver Clark. I don't think I've listened to either one of them before, or their names just didn't sound familiar, but narration was fantastic. So highly recommend listening to this one this week when it comes out.
Okay.
5 stars, by the way. I don't know if I said that.
Not yet.
So I will yell it at you.
I do. I mean, when she fell and like the falling and he's seeing things like that brings back memories. Did I ever tell you that I slipped and fell on the ice on one of mine and Jeff's first dates in a dress, and the dress went flying before church? Swear that's why he married me. Kind of had to at that point.
It
was very
that's
icy
still
and
better than being in a towel and getting stuck in the bushes.
No, but I'm pretty sure the dress went over my head. So, yeah. It must have endeared me to him because he married me. So, it's all good. But still think about it. Thought I was all cute and stuff. Nope,
He
there's
didn't
ice.
save you from falling on the ice? Red flag.
He had come around, opened the truck door, and I was getting out of his truck, which is high up, and when my feet hit the ice, it just, and he didn't know. He tried to catch me. Anyhow, all right. So the next book that I read was another new audio for this week. And by the way, I forgot to say that the Crucible is already out. It came out this last Tuesday. So it's already out by Beauty Read. So, okay. This one is a dark Christmas book. This is I'll Be Home by Tate James and Heather Long. I like Tate James. Tate James always writes Why Choose. I really enjoy hers. These names are insane. So this is about Rain, or she starts out as Rachel. She's going by a pseudonym. But her name is Rain Deer. And she is a journalist, and her boss is sending her, she was going to go to like St. Bart's or something because she hates Christmas. She wants to get away from everything. And then her boss calls her and is like, I need you to do this story about in this little town. There are foster kids going missing, foster girls, little girls, like they're going missing. And we need the scoop. Like this could be a Pulitzer for you. So she begrudgingly goes to this little town. It is like the giant town of Christmas. Like Christmas has thrown up in this town. And when she gets there, she accidentally runs over somebody. That turns out to be her ex, Frost. And they take him to the doctor, where they run into her other friend, Elfie, like with an E. And don't forget about Nick, who she runs into later. So all three of these guys were in foster care with her. They all had relationships with her. And there you have the suspense of the kids going missing and then their relationship. And the sex starts hot and heavy pretty quick. So I did enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars. I was listening to it. I think I would have I was kind of in a mood yesterday. I might have gotten bored if I had listened to it any other time, but it was good. It was good. But the names just blew me away. Like everybody had a Christmas name, even the side characters.
It was written for fun.
Rain Deer. Like when I realized that, I giggled. I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. So it is dark. Definitely check triggers, but it was fun. It was a 4. It was fun. There's just a lot of banging.
Okay.
Okay, what do you got next?
Well, next I have Undeniable by Daisy Jane.
Okay.
So this is our buddy read. Our live show happened yesterday, so you can always go check that out if you want to, if you didn't catch it. But just so you know, we do talk about the whole entire book, so there will be lots of spoilers. So for your 1-minute book rec, this is about Lexi. Lexi meets her mom's boyfriend, Callan, when she's like 4 or 5 years old. And he is in their life for a few years before things happen and he is no longer in the picture. And then we fast forward to Lexi being 18. She is back in town when she runs into Callan, and things have definitely changed between the two of them. So this is Taboo, mom's ex-boyfriend. There is some major things that you should check trigger warnings for if you think that's something that you might be impacted by, but it will give away huge spoilers to the book. So just a warning there. It is not a menu of things like some people like to joke about trigger warnings being. This one will give away a big spoiler. So I loved it. I rated it 5 stars.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no, I could say that. I was like, oh, I'm not supposed to say that, but this will be out after the live show, so yeah. I'm good. Whew.
Yeah. Obviously, we're recording before the live show. So. Okay. So yesterday, I opened up my email, and I had a surprise arc in there that I wasn't expecting, and this was from LV Lane. And so this is a short novella. I was really shocked, and I was all about it. So this is the Blacksmith in My Tavern. And this is, when we read The Wolf in My Tavern, or when I read The Wolf in My Tavern, it talked about the father to one of the guys, the blacksmith. He is the blacksmith. And he we saw that there was a little bit of a relationship happening with one of the barmaids. Her dad owns the bar, and so she's working in this tavern. And so this is their story. So now we're getting this age gap, dad's friend story set in this fantasy world. And so that is where this is Betsy and Heath. And that's what it is. So like at the beginning, he rescues her from a situation that we saw in the other book. So we get to see their POV where she's taken by the Blighton and she's being kept in these cells. And the blacksmith comes in with his hammer and he is just hammering orcs left and right. And so when she sees him, he's covered in blood and he's rescuing her. And she's like, okay, yeah, so I'm seeing that. And then later that day, after she's been rescued, he is at the tavern with her and he kind of realizes that, oh, wait, there's something about her. Like that I know I've seen her whole life, but like now I'm seeing her. And so this is their story. It's very short. It's like 80 pages. It's not very long, but yeah, I give it 4 stars. It's got some of those tropes that we like in there.
Okay.
All right, next.
Okay, this should be, that was your last book, correct?
Yes.
Okay, this is my last book, hopefully.
Okay.
I'll let you know if I messed up.
Okay.
Oh, ring light, darn it. Okay, this is Corrupt Loyalties by Emily Bowie. This was on our favorite book covers. I just love the cover. I don't know why. I just love it. It's simplistic, but yet it feels so like masculine, maybe. I don't know. Just love the cover. So when we were doing that, I'm like, that's right. I need to read this. I really wanted to read it. And we got back from Romance Invades the Rockies. It got stuck on my shelf and I forgot about it. So I decided to read it and I am so glad that I did. So this is about Jen and Soren. Soren is part of the Mafia world. Jen's family kind of grows up adjacent to them, but kind of always on the outside of the world. So she is a little, I don't think naive is the right word. She has just not been told what exactly they do for work. And she doesn't, her and Soren have like not liked each other and fight and banter since they were kids, their whole lives basically. So she just has not really paid a lot of attention to know that like this is a full-fledged mafia family. And Soren ends up needing to get married. So an arranged marriage situation happens, and he decides that Jen is the girl that he wants to be arranged marriage to. So he makes it happen. She is not happy about that because she wants nothing to do with his family. Her brother Jude is his best friend, and she just wants nothing to do with the entire situation. But oh, you know how those mafia men are. I love this one. I'm going to tell you a funny story. I texted this to you, but I'll just tell everybody. She actually gets frustrated with him and she sprays him right in the face with bear spray.
Gotta love that.
Yeah. So she is feisty and independent. I really enjoyed this and I look forward to reading more in this mafia world.
I have a book by Emily Bowie as well that I want to get to. And when you pull that up, I was like, oh yeah, I got one too. But
yeah.
I don't know. It's in a stack of books because I need bookshelves, which my husband's putting together right now. So yay! Anyhow.
I rated it 4 stars.
Okay, perfect.
Forgot
All
to
right.
say that.
So that's our week. That's it.
That is our week. So make sure you check back on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for new videos from us and leave us some comments. How was your reading week? Any of these books you want to read? Anything good that you've been reading lately? Tell us everything in the comments. We love to hear from you.
Yep. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.